Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. Sorry it's been a little bit, but I've been a bit sick. But I am here to talk about The Mandalorian episodes 3 and 4, which I cannot wait to talk about. But first, it is Black Friday and I have a little bit of a haul. Went to Walmart for the first time on Black Friday. I usually don't go Black Friday shopping, but I got John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. I got A Quiet Place in 4K. I got Spider-Man Far From Home and Star Trek 2009, the J.J. Abrams movie. All four movies I absolutely love, and they're all in 4K, Blu-ray, and digital for $35. Not bad haul from Walmart this year. And man, it was foggy driving. I'll put a little clip of just the amount of fog that I had to drive through. I honestly felt like I was, in a flying car from Back to the Future 2 when he was flying through the storm. You can't really see anything in front of you, but you just see the lines in the roads, and that's literally it. It felt like I was in a flying car. It was really weird, really cool, and kind of terrifying. So let's get into The Mandalorian.
You can't see shit.
Alright, I'll also have time codes for episode 4 if you guys want to skip straight to that, but I want to talk about episode 3 because I did not get a chance to talk about it last week, and I might honestly just keep on doing these 2-episode reviews, just because, they are shorter episodes, but we've got our longest episode so far with episode 4, but let's not get ahead of ourselves with my excitement of that one. Let's talk about chapter 3, which was, I believe, oh gosh, what was it called? The Sin. Yeah, that's right, The Sin. When the title of this episode came on, I was like, hell yeah, Sin. Are you kidding me? You just gave away Baby Yoda. What are you doing? So yeah, spoilers ahead. Yes, I do call him Yoda instead of Yoda. You gotta make some differentiation in the name. Let's get into episode 3. So, chapter 3, The Sin. The Mandalorian goes back and he gives the baby Yoda directly to the Werner Herzog character, this Imperial guy, and this what everybody's kind of thinking is a Camino cloning person, this doctor character that we're all trying to speculate why he wants this creature, what he's going to do with it. Is Baby Yoda a clone? Is he trying to clone the baby? What is going on with this creature? What is going on with the asset? Why do they want him so bad? And yes, Mandalorian just gives him away, and yes, that's a sin. Are you kidding me? It was heartbreaking seeing little Baby Yoda float away on his little crib, which is also, rest in peace, the floating crib. Very sad times. This episode had a rough start for us Baby Yoda fans. But what I thought was so great about this third episode, and also what will carry over in the fourth episode, is the character of the Mandalorian. You really get to see, up until this point, he has been a Mandalorian. He's been very strict. He's a part of the guild. He's a very straightforward, like, I'm going to do this job, I'm going to get my payment, I'm going to move on to the next job. That's exactly what he did. He did this job, but he had one little question. What are you going to do with the child? And just that one little connection that he had with this baby, especially him reaching over and grabbing that little ball from his ship and trying to eat it and trying to play with it. This is so adorable. It's not even fair how cute this thing is. But of course he's going to get somewhat attached, and he's going to have those questions, and Werner Herzog is going to have his little speech like, oh, that's uncharacteristic of you. Why do you want to know what we're doing? The same thing with Carl Weathers' character, and him saying, okay, you're part of the guild. You did your job. You got your payment, which he got an awesome new suits from it, new armor that he got from the Mandalorians, which is just great. He took his payments. Why are you asking all these questions? But you really get to see the humanity in this character, which they really dig into. And another thing that I absolutely love about this episode, and that I love about the show, is this show wastes absolutely no time getting to the point. This episode wraps this entire storyline up. As Mandalorian turns into full-on Star Wars Batman, and he goes into this facility back to get Yoda, and he wipes out all these stormtroopers in just an awesome action sequence. I believe the director was Deborah Chow. This was she's going to move on to do the Obi-Wan TV show. She's going to direct all 8 episodes of that. And this just gets me really excited and gets all Star Wars fans excited because she does a great job at helming this episode. All the action, all the fighting, all the story, and the character points. This episode was very heavy on plot and character, which is a very good mix, possibly the best mix. I think this is probably my best episode, or the best episode so far, even over episode 4. But overall, in episode 3, he has this connection with Baby Yoda. He even gives that little silver ball back to him at the end of the episode, which is just perfect. But this series really does not waste any time at getting one thing. You have the plot of the episode. We're going to solve this entire situation all in one episode, and I thought this did a great job handling both the emotional stuff with the character of the Mandalorian along with the plots and the story points with this with Werner Herzog and all these different things with that aspect of the show. And they wrapped it all up in a nice tight little bow in a 37-minute episode. And I love this episode. Episode 3 is easily my favorite of the series so far. It's great. Watch it, even though I just spoiled everything. Watch it, because he really does feel like the Batman for Star Wars. I'm not even kidding about that. He disappears in one scene where a character's trying to talk to him. He just disappears like Batman does. He's like hiding around the corner, snatching stormtroopers left and right. He's doing all these different things. And I didn't even talk about the whole Mandalorian scene where he's getting his armor and the confrontation between those Mandalorians, and when they all come back at the end in the epic scene at the end of that episode where all the Mandalorians come down with their jetpacks and just wipe all these guild members. It really did feel like John Wick Chapter 3 at the beginning of that movie, when all the different assassins and all the different people are all after John Wick at the beginning of that movie, and it's just insanity for the first 30-45 minutes of that movie. It's the insanity that's at the end of this episode, and they handled it extremely well. I love this episode. Deborah Chow did a great job. Cannot wait for the next episode she's directing. But let's move on to episode 4, which is called... oh boy, what is it called? Sanctuary. That is Chapter 4, Sanctuary. Alright, and in terms of ranking these episodes, I think this is probably my least favorite episode, because this feels like the most side mission-y type of episode that there is. It's not really heavy on the main plot with the assets and with the child, the storylines that we really care about, but it is extremely heavy on character. And we finally got to meet Gina Carano's character, who is really, really awesome in this episode. She is great. She plays a character called Cara Dune, and she, like I said, she's awesome. She's kind of tasked, as soon as the Empire falls after the Battle of Endor, she's kind of tasked with cleaning up after the mess that the rebellion has left, cleaning up all the leftover Imperial officers that's running around trying to hide, and she's the cleanup crew, and she did that for a while, and then she kind of retired, as she said herself. She retired onto this new planet that is, it's a nice peaceful planet with a bunch of farmers, and just it's a nice little village on there that they kind of want to settle down in. Both Mandalorian and Gina Carano's character, they kind of want to settle down and kind of let go of this world. Mandalorian says at the beginning of the episode, we need to lay low for a couple months. We can't just be out in the open. People are after us. And so, they need to lay low, and this is a perfect little town, but it has one major issue, as you guys saw, with the opening, cold open of this episode, which was this small town being completely ravaged by this group of different alien creatures that just tore the place apart. They have an ATST, which later in the episode is awesome. The fight with the ATST is just incredible. But I don't, maybe I wouldn't say this is my least favorite episode. I think episode 1 might be my, it's in between this and that, because it really does feel like, okay, we're on this planet, we have the Mandalorian, he has to kind of protect this little village, and he's hired to basically get rid of these Ravengers and have this town be peaceful. And it's a kind of a mission where they have to train the townspeople to be fighters. And what I really liked about this episode is kind of that feel of this, the underdog story of this small little town being able to stand up against these Ravagers and fight back. And that's really what the story of Star Wars is. It's about the Resistance fighting back against the giant galactic empire. And it's that on a much smaller scale, with just a single AT-ST instead of an army of AT-ATs in the Battle of Hoth from The Empire Strikes Back. But it's a lot much smaller scale of both that and the Battle of Endor type feel, which is great. I loved how this episode went. It just did feel like more of a side mission as compared to the last episode, which is completely plot heavy. But we also got a lot of character stuff with the Mandalorian in this episode, which, I kind of had the question at the beginning of the episode, because they kind of were, kind of dealing with it, was how does the Mandalorian eat? He can't take off this helmet. The Mandalorians even asked him during the last episode whether or not, has he ever taken the mask off ever? And he said no, but you find out that, he takes off the mask to eat, obviously, to do certain things, but he can't do it in front of other people, or else he has to abandon the mask, he has to abandon the mantle of the Mandalorian and just move on. And so, part of the appeal is, even Gina Carano's character is, you can just take off your mask and settle down with these people, with this nice widow, this woman that was also badass. She was great in this episode. I think the romance seemed a little rushed, that they kind of teased with Mandalorian and this woman, which the romance aspect of this episode did not work for me as much. I did feel like it was kind of rushed and kind of tacked on. But for the most part, I really like the idea that, the Mandalorian is, he needs to lay low and he can just take off the mask and settle down here. Nobody will know it's him. He has the suit of armor. He can tuck it away until problems arise again later on. And there's even a scene where she starts to take off his mask and he stops her right at the last second before little flute alien guy from episode 1 is about to shoot him, or is about to shoot Baby Yoda. And that whole thing at the end of the episode. But it's really nice character moments where he, you finally get to see him take off the mask. You don't get to see his face, but you see him take off his mask and put it on the table ready to eat. And it's a really nice character story of like, okay, this guy has had the mask on since he was a kid. Ever since the flashbacks that we saw in the last episode that takes place during the Clone Wars with the battle droids, killing his family. And you hear him say that his parents died when he was a young kid and the Mandalorians took him in. And he's had the mask on since then, since he was probably about like 8 years old, and that's a long time for him to be in that mask. It's a long time to have him holding that burden, holding that responsibility that the Mandalorians have, and he has this honor that he needs to uphold, and it makes you think: is he going to abandon that thing? Because he can take out the mask, show his face in front of people, and just put it right back on. Who's to say? Like, who's going to stop him from putting that mask back on? Maybe the Mandalorians will be kind of angry about that if they find out. As you kind of see the confrontation that he had in the last episode with the Mandalorians. But it's a very interesting character story with both the Mandalorian and Gina Carano's character wiping out these people. And you see that, even she wanted to lay low for a while. She wanted to settle down. She's like, this planet isn't big enough for the two of us. You need to go. This one's taken. And it's kind of funny, this show really does have that old Western feel. Like, the drawl, the kind of confrontation that they had. She thought that somebody from the guild was coming after her, but he was just suspicious of her because he didn't want her to be a threat to Baby Yoda at all. But there's a lot of character stuff in this episode that I absolutely loved. And I know I said this for the last episode, but the show really does like to wrap up its entire storylines in the episode itself. And this episode is 41 minutes long, so it's the longest one we've gotten yet. But they wrapped this entire storyline with, this village and him trying to protect the village against these Ravagers, and this romance between that one other character and the Mandalorian, and introducing Gina Carano's character. And it wrapped all that stuff up in a nice little bow, because at the very end of the episode, you see Mandalorian and Baby Yoda starting to ride off, and maybe he gets stopped, maybe something else happens that keeps him there for a little bit while longer, but it really seems like he's going to leave that planet. You don't get to see him leave the planet, but you see him riding away. So I think maybe that's it for this planet. It seems like I want more stuff with this. It felt very rushed, and the romance, like I said, wasn't really earned. So I don't know if they're going to spend more time on it. Obviously, Gina Carano's character is going to stick around for a little while longer. Something's going to happen for him to maybe stay on this planet for at least the first half of the next episode before he leaves. Get Gina Carano and then dip. Maybe leave Baby Yoda there for a while he tries to, take out whatever entity's trying to get to him. Because all the tracking fobs are still going to be on the baby until, it's all settled, until it's all gone, until all the fobs are destroyed. So, he's got a lot to do. We still have how many episodes? We're only halfway through the season, so he still has a lot to do to get all these fobs destroyed. We need to figure out why they're going after this baby, but I do think it would be a nice way to wrap up this storyline with the Baby Yoda character by leaving him on this planet, because it's a nice little planet, nice little characters that he can grow up with. All these kids thinking he's so adorable. That's all the fans. That's us fans looking at Baby Yoda eat a frog and then go ew, but laugh at the same time, and it's just those little moments with the Baby Yoda and with the kids and with the character stuff. That is why I really like this episode. Maybe I do like this episode better than the first one, better than the pilot. I don't know. I love this series so far. Like I said, the episode's not perfect. It has some problems. But what doesn't have problems? Every episode has problems. But yeah, that is my thoughts on the Mandalorian episodes, or chapters 3 and 4. If you guys have any thoughts, any theories, any comments below, put them down there. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and put on notifications. I will have top 10, or not a top 10. I will do a top 10 for 2019, but I will have a 10 movies I missed video. I did that back in July when I've seen 10 other movies I didn't get a chance to review, but I did watch them. I have 8 movies right now. I have a couple more that I want to watch before I make that video, but Knives Out is going to be a part of it. I did see Knives Out. Spoiler alert, I loved it. It's going to be in my top 5 movies of the year probably by the end of it. But I will have a review up for that along with 9 other movies in a video in a little bit. So subscribe to the channel, put on notifications, do all the things, and I hope to see you guys all in my next one.
foggy.